Hello, I'm Sydney Neely from the Channel Company, and welcome to today's webinar titled Red Hat's Vision, Preparing Partners for the Next Wave of Tech Innovation. We're in a time when AI and hybrid cloud are shaping the future of business, and staying ahead means embracing those changes. Red Hat is right in the middle of this transformation, helping partners drive growth and innovation. With me today are Stefanie Chiras from Red Hat and Anurag Agrawal from TechAisle to share how they're making it all happen. Hi, you two.
Hi, Sydney. Great to be here with you.
Great to be here, Sydney.
So glad to have you both here with us. Let's start with our first segment. Red Hat's commitment to partners. Stefanie, Red Hat has been really doubling down on this partner ecosystem over the past few years. What's behind this strategy, and how are you seeing it make an impact with your partners?
You're absolutely right, Sydney. I think the primary driver is really market expectation. Customers are expecting the ecosystem partners to come together to have a solution when they show up and to have had their homework done to tackle these complicated challenges and opportunities that they're currently facing. Things like, what can they do with Gen AI? So I think it starts with customer expectation. And we as a platform company at Red Hat, we're very used to being focused on pulling together an ecosystem in order to deliver value. We've been focused on the open hybrid cloud story for well over a decade now here at Red Hat. The value of that is flexibility for customers. So that requires pulling together an ecosystem. So 3 years ago, we made a really strong pivot to double down on the ecosystem. And that has allowed us to step back and really lay a different level of foundation. We did foundational work focused on operational optimizations, on having clear rules of engagement. We've really invested in new tooling in order to focus on the data that we have visibility to in the work we do with our partners.
Anurag, from your perspective as an analyst, how important is this kind of partner commitment in today's market, especially as businesses face so many challenges with innovation and growth?
Right. So, what we are seeing is that the partners in this AI era are actually moving from being dependent upon the vendor to really creating the customer value, the buyer value, right? Which is what Stefanie also talked about, the fact, right? That, hey, so the customers are looking at their partners to deliver business outcomes. And that approach or that requires comprehensive ecosystem approach, right? So what I find pretty important with Red Hat, which I think 3 points Stefanie did not mention, was the flexibility and the global consistency, right? That's really, really important, right? Because our research of over 2,000 partners, recent research says that 46% of the global partners desire vendor programs that maintain a consistent framework while accommodating regional variation. I think that becomes really important. The other piece of it is comprehensive support. Not all partners, AI is a very new field, and not all partners have the capability or the skill sets to really dive deep into it. So Red Hat's comprehensive support, that is the number 2 area, which is extremely important, right? Because what we are also finding that 52% of these partners seek vendor partnerships that offer training that is tuned to their business model, sales and marketing tools as well as specialization and certain certification opportunities. So I think what Red Hat program is doing is really addressing the partner needs at the very core level. And the third one is extremely important as well, in my view, as an analyst, because you asked me as an analyst here, is the focus on the partner autonomy, right? This program is allowing partners to make decisions that align with their business goals. They are not saying, hey, you know what, let me be really dependent upon the vendor. Let me drive that. So I think what Stefanie and her team are actually doing within Red Hat is extremely important and creating a very differentiated partner program.
Red Hat has such a diverse range of partners. How do you ensure that you're meeting the different needs of each of these partners, and how does that contribute to Red Hat's growth?
So, and Anurag did a great job of laying out when we started this program, and we got a lot of feedback from the market. There were some core tenets that we needed to stick to. How do we be globally consistent? How do we be predictable and clear with partners? How do we make the incentives, as just as Anurag said, we put the partner in control. The partner knows their business. They know their strategy. How do we make the program clear to them so they can drive that strategy with Red Hat? So one thing we have focused on is making sure that we are soliciting feedback in this program from all of the different partner profiles, if you will, or the engagement motions that they want to do with us. Do they want to build with us? They have certain needs: enablement, technical support, access to engineering resources. That is critically important for that set of folks. There's also, just as Anurag said, the folks who sell with us, they want access to selling tools. How do we make the digital experience, clarity of opportunity and engagement very clear? So we do work across an extremely broad range of partners. And the thing I love about AI is it pulls all of those partner types into the discussion, which is really exciting. But the program is established to try and create modules which are targeted at each of those engagement motions, offering the support that they need. How do we help them grow their business? And it keeps them really in the driver's seat to say, this is how I want to run my business. This is how Red Hat's technology aligns to my business strategy.
Anurag, what are you hearing from partners in terms of what they value the most in a vendor relationship? And how do you see Red Hat addressing those needs?
Right. So, one of the interesting points that Stefanie mentioned was enablement, right? And Red Hat has done a great job in this enablement. What Red Hat is also doing is really empowering the partners, right? Enablement and empowerment are two different things, right? So what the partners are seeking today, they are seeking that empowerment to make their own decisions, right? And empowerment comes from the notion that the partner becomes a sales advocate of the IT vendor organization. In this case, we are talking about Red Hat, not a sales agent, right? It's not like a simple resell motion. It's, they continue to invest in Red Hat's success, for example, right? So they are looking for sales velocity drivers, profit velocity, and simplicity. Specifically, they are looking for brand appeal, account management, ease of deployment and support, training, specialization, sales tools. And I think Stefanie really mentioned about the digital experience. Those are the exact elements that the partners are looking for, right? Because on average, a partner is working with 5.6 different vendors. They are having meaningful partnerships, right? When you have that many different partnerships, then they also want to work with the vendor organization that actually help them, drive their success with the end customer. And one of the other important points which Stefanie mentioned about this ecosystem play as to, can the partners work with each other? And we are seeing that a lot, right? That those partners who are frequently collaborating with each other to drive customer success, on average, they are growing twice as fast in their revenue as those who are partners who are opportunistically collaborating. So knowing this, what Stefanie and her team have actually done is able to build this ecosystem. And that's where the Red Hat is putting ecosystem front and center. And I think that's what the partners are also asking. In the absence of the vendor intervention, partners are doing it by themselves, because no single partner can really deploy a complex solution, whether it be an enterprise customer or a mid-market customer, where that complex solution incorporates multi-vendor products and services.
Thank you, Stefanie and Anurag. Now that we've covered Red Hat's partner commitment, let's dive into how these technologies are helping partners grow their business in segment 2, empowering partners with virtualization and AI. Stefanie, we know that virtualization and AI are playing a huge role in the future of technology. Can you share how Red Hat is helping partners leverage these technologies to grow their business?
Yeah, so let's unbelievable motion in the market right now around both Gen AI and virtualization. And I'll talk about them separately because in many ways they're very different. But on the one hand, the one thing that is the same about them is it is going to take an ecosystem to deliver both of them. And I think front and center, these two primary motions are showing everyone the importance of an ecosystem. Neither AI or virtualization can be done by a single vendor. It just can't happen. And so that to me is super exciting about how it is pulling us together. Just as Anurag said, right? Every partner is working with multiple vendors. Every vendor is trying to help the partners work together. And it spans across, if we start with AI, it spans across what processor it is, to what server provider it is it deployed on the cloud, to who is providing the AI model that they may use, to which applications they're using. It is across the whole spectrum. And our goal at Red Hat is to provide a platform that sits within that stack that allows flexibility to maximize the choice that can be done across those other technology levels, to make sure that you can leverage the GPU accelerators from the provider of your choice, that you can leverage it from hardware providers that you may be working with, that you can work on the cloud. So AI is really what we're seeing as the ultimate workload for hybrid cloud. And therefore, right, it's pulling together the entire ecosystem, building upon what we've done here at Red Hat in working through that hybrid cloud motion here for, again, right, over a decade or so.
Anurag, from a broader industry standpoint, what trends are you seeing when it comes to the adoption of AI and virtualization, especially among channel partners?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question, because what we are finding is that AI is kind of a double-edged sword for most of the partners, right? Because it is reshaping the value that they deliver to the end customers, and it is also causing disruption within the channel partner community, right? Again, quoting one of our research data points, 41% of the partners are actually currently offering AI solutions, and 89% of them are expecting revenue increases, right? Which is interesting. And that also shows that there is tremendous amount of customer demand. On the other side, when you look at cloud native technologies or virtualization, 30% of these are offering, those solutions, and 68% are expecting revenue increases. But what is happening from the customer point of view, this is what the partners are not realizing today, is that when a customer really starts to go and adopt Gen AI capabilities, they're also looking at modernization of their applications, right? And the modernization of the applications is happening because of the availability of the cloud native technologies, right? So I think the two are going hand in hand, right? But what we are seeing from the partner community is that they have reached an inflection point, which means that the partners are actually splitting into 4 different specializations, if you will, right? There is one that is saying that, what, I'm going to really go deep into AI and analytics because I have got the data science, data management capabilities, and so on and so forth. The other one saying, what, managed services is my thing. I'm going to really focus on managed services because recurring revenue and I'm good at IT management and so on and so forth. The third one is looking at on-prem infrastructure solutions, right? Because they are saying deploy compute and storage and networking, right? And then there is the fourth one, right? Which is saying, what do I do? I can focus on cloud. I can focus on virtualization. Those are the activities that they're looking at, right? So the challenge with the channel is that should they become shallow in the skill sets or should they go deep into the skill sets, right? That's what we are seeing, right? So I think the point that Stefanie makes repeatedly, and I think that's where their program is kind of designed, is around ecosystem, right? When the end customer is simply moving from system of records or system of engagement to the systems of innovation, which includes Gen AI capabilities, includes modern applications which are built on cloud native solutions and all that. That's where the partner interaction or the collaboration and the ecosystem comes into the play. So deep skills are imperative, not shallow skills, right? Because you cannot thrive on shallowness in today's environment. So deep skills are imperative, and that's where partners are really investing their resources. I think we will see how this plays out over the next couple of years, but it is important for the partners to really understand and actually latch onto a vendor program that is enabling all of this, and therefore empowering them to succeed in whatever business model they are in.
Stefanie, could you give us an example of how one of Red Hat's partners has successfully used AI or virtualization solutions to create new business opportunities?
Yeah, so let me start with a minute on the virtualization piece. I think one thing that we dove into with virtualization was we wanted to make sure that our OpenShift virtualization capabilities were able to be procured in alignment and easy to deploy with some of our other partner solutions. So we leaned in with Dell and did Dell Apex Cloud Platform for Red Hat OpenShift, which is a fully integrated application delivery platform and purpose-built for Red Hat OpenShift. We did a lot of engineering work in the background to get it optimized for running OpenShift and OpenShift AI and OpenShift virtualization. It supports both VMs and containers on that unified platform, and it allows for customers who want that ease of deployment, fast, reliable installation. For those folks who want that experience, we came together with Dell in the back end to be able to deliver that. I think the reason why why this is a good example is it's not just what we do with Dell in this space. This then allows SIs to leverage this as a platform for them to bring their services capabilities for application deployment. How are VMs being migrated onto this platform? So it serves as a building block and a foundational building block that we have done with Dell for other partners then to bring in their capabilities on top.
Anurag, with AI and virtualization evolving so quickly, what should partners be thinking about as they look to stay competitive in this space?
I'm really glad you asked this question, because that's the topic du jour these days as to the number one question that we get from partners as well as from the vendors as well. So our research has actually identified 10 different steps of success. That is separating the partners, right? What do I mean by separating the partners? So I talked about the partners have reached an inflection point, but if you just narrow our focus down to this AI and virtualization, what we are seeing is that there are two sets of partners. The partners that are able to scale, we call them the scaling partners in their offerings, and the partners who are set in their ways, we call them the static partners, right? So what we have done is we have done a tremendous amount of research, and we find that there are 10 different steps. And some of those steps are that the scaling partners are building the data foundations needed to deliver AI success to their customers, right? That it's important. So talking about customers, they are prioritizing deep customer understanding from the start. From the start is very essential. That means they do tremendous amount of research before they start to engage with an end customer, right? That is important. Then they are elevating their marketing through a thought leadership and analytics. That is important. They're also shifting to account-based marketing with high-touch sales support, right? And this is where co-sell motion along with Red Hat also comes into play. And they are actually focused on a shared risk partnership or the value-driven customer relationship. That becomes important as well. Another area is they are able to showcase their strength in migration, integration, cost economics, and agility, rather than they are doing it much better than the static partners. The last one that I would mention here is they are embracing the benefits of ecosystem partnering. So we are clearly seeing that there are 10 different steps that are differentiating this. And if the partners kind of learn from what the scaling partners are doing better than they are, then they can remain competitive in this particular space today.
Great insights. Now that we've discussed the technology side, let's talk about how partners can get involved and start taking advantage of these opportunities with our final segment, unlocking the benefits of partnering with Red Hat. Stefanie, for partners who are new to working with Red Hat or are thinking about working with Red Hat, what's the best way for them to get involved and start seeing the benefits?
So first off, I would recommend, right, I would love for folks to step in and visit connect.redhat.com/benefits. That connect.redhat.com, that is part of our digital experience where we're really working to centralize access and visibility to the advantages of partnering with Red Hat. And I love the 10 steps, right, that Anurag talks about because they are actionable, right? Our goal is for a partner to be able to say, okay, these are the steps that I want to focus on. This is what aligns to my business strategy. Be able to go in to connect.redhat.com and be able to see, yes, this is where I can turn a knob with Red Hat in order to get benefits from the program that help me achieve that actionable step. This site caters to both prospects and existing partners, and it describes the benefits of joining the partner ecosystem. I think it helps streamline, right, the digital interactions as well. And once signed up, the partner now gets full access to everything. They'll be able to see how they can engage with Red Hat throughout the building aspects of it, throughout the sell with aspects of it, the sell through aspects, that they can see all the places that may align to their business.
Anurag, what advice would you give to partners who are just starting their journey with Red Hat? How can they make the most of this partnership?
So, the important point, I think Stefanie already mentioned that learn from the peers, right? What the other partners have really done in this area, because partners feed off each other. They are maybe competing with each other, but they kind of learn from each other as well. And in this era where use cases are so important, where the end customer wants to see what a partner has deployed or how can I use a Red Hat technology, whether it's OpenShift or it's Ansible or RHEL AI or whatever it is, right? How can I deploy that? Use cases become important. So even if the partner is really not aware about, or they have not got the specialization or the certification, if there is an inquiry that actually comes in, or if the partner is in a conversation with that end customer and says, you know what, I think I have the right solution for you, then they can go and engage with that particular partner within that Red Hat ecosystem and learn from that partner. I think that's extremely, extremely important, right? But the more important point here is that where is Red Hat investing, right? That's what the partner should really understand that, right? So there are, I think, 5 steps one should kind of look at that, right? They must adopt a sense and respond approach, which goes to the point, right? Hey, if there is a customer that they are sensing can really benefit from the Red Hat solutions, whether their customer is an AWS customer, right? Hey, I can deploy Rosa with you, right? Or if it's an Azure customer, I can look at Arrow, ARO. So I think you can start to kind of look at those areas, right? Then above all, sales must sell differently, right? Because the market dynamics have changed. Marketing must change and expand its purview. Technical staff must develop new and different skills. And all of these 3 areas, the reason why I'm mentioning that, these are the 3 areas that are being addressed in the new partner program by Red Hat. Above all, I would say that to the partners is, how do you work with Red Hat? How can you take advantage? Prioritize your goals with clear financial, operational benefits over dazzling tech. This is really, really important.
Stefanie, as Red Hat continues to evolve, how do you see the partner ecosystem growing? Tell us, what can partners expect from Red Hat in the future?
So let me start with what they can expect from us and where we're focused. They can certainly expect a continued dedicated investment and focus on a partner engagement experience. We will continue to drive an enhanced digital experience to allow simple and easy ways of working with Red Hat in order to help partners create and close business. Incentives will become more consistent and predictable, particularly as we move into our global model that we have announced in the partner program, getting back to that consistency and clarity that Anurag mentioned earlier. And we'll continue to expand our partner benefits and the activities that unlock those benefits as we continue to add modules into this program that address new engagement models that partners need to have with Red Hat in this changing market that we work with. I'd say, aside from that partner engagement experience, the second piece is a focus in partnering with us on innovation. We're very excited about what is happening in AI. We have REL AI, which allows for easy ways to tune specific models. We've seen partners already, and it's recently launched here, very recently, but we've already seen partners who have used that technology to create their own tailored models that have been tuned with their expertise, that partner's expertise, that allows them to take that model and use it with their customers, giving them a differentiated capability with their customers that gets right to that return, the financial return, which is so critical to partners that Anurag was mentioning.
Anurag, looking ahead, what should partners prioritize to stay competitive and relevant in the next few years?
Yeah, that's another interesting and thought-provoking question. So I would say three things, right? Partners have to look back and understand what is their future readiness. They need to invest in the vendor program that is driving towards that future readiness. And that future readiness should have zero friction. What that means is that zero friction in terms of partner interaction with the vendor, as well as the enablement and empowerment of their interaction with the end customer. That becomes important. So how do you actually go about doing that, right? Yes, programs from Red Hat is actually moving towards that future readiness, towards that zero friction future. But the partners themselves need to move beyond being just a trusted advisor. Today, if you turn around, every partner says that, there are 830,000 partners globally, right? And everybody is a trusted advisor. So how does an end customer know whether you are giving me the advice that can be trusted or not? So the partner has to move to becoming a success partner. So move from a trusted advisor to a success partner. That means, I am vested in the customer's success. That is important, right? The other area is to say, if you are going to offer Gen AI, you might as well start to adopt Gen AI within your own organization, right? How can I improve my own business processes, whether it relates to marketing, whether it relates to sales, whether it relates to training or your own content generation, things like that, right? So, and we are starting to kind of see that, right? And third is to really embrace the power of the ecosystem. It is absolutely important to kind of see your partners, your fellow peers, not as competitors, but as the ecosystem that contributes to this collective success.
Thank you, Stefanie and Anurag, so much for joining me today and sharing your insights.
Thank you, Sydney.
Great to be here. Thank you, Sydney. And it's a pleasure to do this with you, Anurag.
Thank you. Same here.
It's clear that Red Hat is committed to helping partners succeed, and there are so many opportunities ahead, especially with technologies like AI and virtualization. If you would like to learn more about Red Hat, visit the website on your screen. For the channel company, I'm Sydney Neely. Thanks for watching.